everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tea Time with Key. I'm your host, Kyra Overton, otherwise known as Key. If you're new here, thanks for coming to my channel. I hope you guys really take something out of today's episode. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much, as usual, for continuing to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. So I did something over the weekend to hopefully make things easier on some of my subscribers. I also added my podcast to Anchor. Well, I added the show to Anchor Podcast. It also will be on Apple Music very soon and Spotify. I just did this because, you know, the type of people I'm trying to attract for the show are probably busy on-the-go people. So I know if you guys don't have YouTube Premium, it's hard to sit through an entire episode and actually watch the visual. So I wanted to make sure I can offer as much content to everyone on all different platforms. So again, I appreciate you guys for supporting me thus far. It's been a crazy year already, and I'm just really trying to invest into my channel and things like that. And I don't want to blabber about that. Hope you guys make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, because as always, I'm trying to give you guys the best content as possible. So today on the show, we're going to be talking about traveling. I have one of my good friends on the show. She's been to a lot of countries. She studied abroad, all of that good stuff, and her name is Kyra. So Kyra, you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Kyra Miller. I'm a senior marketing student at North Carolina A&T, and my business is Travel with Kyra. So Travel with Kyra was started because I noticed that there's a lack of Black people that like to travel. When you see those big travel pages, they're often ran by people that don't look like me. So I wanted to encourage people that are still in college to, find their love for travel.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get into traveling in general?
So when I was 8 years old, my mom came into our room. I have a twin sister, and she was like, "We're moving to Japan." And we were like,
Japan?
Uh-huh. So at a young age, we moved across the country, and I was exposed to a different culture, and I had to adapt, and I loved it. And since then, I just love the travel. Like, I wanted to see more, and it's like when you start traveling, you want to keep seeing more because it gets addicting.
It really does. So what was your experience like in Japan?
So I moved to Japan when I was, like I said, 8. So I was there. I was still in school, but on the weekends we wanted to see a lot of what Japan had. So we saw like the cherry blossoms. We saw Mount Fuji. They have a lot of saunas. Those Coca-Cola machines that are in like all the restaurants now with like the different flavors and stuff?
Yeah.
I saw that in like elementary school. So Japan already had those. The Wii came out way before it was in America. Like, it was just so advanced. And like, I was in the 3rd grade catching a train by myself. Like, so it's so really safe over there. Like, I don't know.
So that probably made you really mature, being able to do all of that at a young age. I feel like that would be a scary transition, though, going to a whole new country, speak a different language. So I'm proud of you for doing that. So how has it been in college? Have you traveled a lot since you've been in college?
I've traveled too much since I've been in college. Like, being in college is really where I've traveled the most, and my love for traveling has grown. My freshman year, I went to South Africa for like 11 days. And then I went to Peru. I studied abroad a whole semester. That was very long.
Right.
And when people study abroad, they're like, it changed my life, whatever. Yeah, it definitely changed my life. But people don't tell you that you get homesick. So I was definitely homesick. And I went in the fall. So I missed homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I tried to not get on Instagram that week because I was already homesick, so adding on, like, all my friends are together having a great time for a week, it just made me sad. But another thing to combat that was like, okay, I'm in this beautiful country, so I have to see more while I'm still here, because I might not come back to Peru, so let me see everything that I can. What other countries have I been to? Oh, I've been to Cyprus, I've been to London and Paris, I've been to Dominican Republic.
You always gone. You've been everywhere.
I know. I've been to a lot of cities too. That's another thing I'm trying to do is like go throughout the United States more. Because when I do travel, people are asking me, have I been here? And I'm like, no, I'm always trying to leave the country. I haven't seen
the cities here. Right.
Yeah.
So when you were studying abroad, like, what would you say was the biggest challenge studying abroad? But I guess besides homesickness, like the language barrier, what was like the biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge would be the language. So usually when I travel, most people know English.
Right.
They're taught English. Just how like when we go to school, we're taught Spanish.
Right.
But are we really taught Spanish? So we're just getting through it, right? So no, they take learning a second language serious. So I was selfish in my thinking, and when I got there, I realized like nobody's understanding what I'm saying.
Right.
So I had to learn Spanish if I wanted to have a good time or get through my days. Because I got food poisoning.
Yes.
And the campus doctor didn't even speak English.
Wow.
So it's very hard to tell them what was going on with me.
Right.
So I definitely learned more Spanish than before I got there. So.
Right. What are some tips that you use for dealing with the homesickness? Like, what's some tips you would give to people studying abroad?
Talk to your family. Talk to your friends. That'll help you. That'll definitely help you. And another thing would be to make friends while you're there. So everyone is experiencing that nervousness of, leaving where they're comfortable. So y'all experiencing it together.
Right.
So just make friends. Everyone's happy to be there. Travel with people you just met. Like, it's gonna be scary, but it'll work. Right. It'll definitely work.
Were you traveling to other countries while you were in Peru?
No. So with South America, it's a little more expensive to travel versus like Europe. You can go somewhere for like $80.
Right.
I really wanted to go to Brazil, but that was going to be like $400.
Oh no.
So I was like, okay, let me just see what Peru has.
Right.
And luckily Peru has like a lot of climates and stuff. So they have the deserts, they have snowy mountains, they have beaches.
Wow.
They have the Amazon rainforest, which I went to. They have a lot of climates. So I was like, okay, this is nice. I can see a lot of things in one country.
Right.
And a lot of people don't even talk about that. So I was like, okay, this is cool.
So for you, when you plan your travel, are you somebody that like just gets up and goes and like, okay, I'm just about to go here this weekend? Or are you more like, okay, I'm about to sit here and be planning this trip for months? Like, how do you go about planning your travel?
I am a little bit of both. So I'm mostly a planner. I'm going to look up what the place has or things to do or food to try. Another thing that I like to do, a lot of people don't do this, I go on Instagram and I'll look at the hashtags like discover China or travel to China. So a lot of people are hashtagging this and you're gonna find places that Google might not pick up. Right. The Instagrammable places. Right. So I'm like, okay. So
you do it in those countries? Okay.
Before I go, I'll definitely look up hashtags and I'll also go on Google. But sometimes, I forgot about this. I went to Disney World at the end of the semester. That was spontaneous. But I didn't have time to plan it because it was still during the semester. Right. So when I got there, I just started doing that.
You went to Disney World Paris, I thought.
No,
you went to regular Disney World?
I went to the one in Florida.
I was about to say, I thought you went to Disney World Paris for some reason.
But I have been to the Disney World in Japan too.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that one in comparison to the one in Florida?
It's nice. A lot of things are in Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's very similar. You still get that like magical experience.
Is there? Go ahead. My bad.
My sister has been to the one in Hong Kong. I didn't get to go to that one.
What did you guys like travel separately when you guys were there? Okay. Did you? Was gonna say, is there like a language that you really want to pick up?
Really Spanish. Like I know that I just dibble and dabble with Spanish. So I did 3 years of high school. I kind of learned, but being in Peru, it really pushed me. So I'm like, if I can be like 100% fluent in Spanish, that would be it. And if I had to choose a third, maybe French, but no more than that.
Man, Spanish, I done been to 3 Spanish-speaking countries now, and I'm still hola and gracias. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. Like, it's so bad. Like, it's so embarrassing. I would pull out Google Translate so freaking fast. Like, okay, let's do the conversation one, and we're going to figure it out like this, because I do not be knowing anything there. It's so
I'm definitely pushed. So I went to Peru, like, a year ago, and since then I've been to Mexico, and I've been to the DR, and it's like, I don't speak Spanish every day. I kind of wish I was in an environment where I have to speak it. Right. But as soon as I go to another country where I have to speak it, I don't know where I pull it from, but I'd be like...
You and Michaela, you and my best friend are just like that. Because I swear, we touched down in Costa Rica. As soon as we got off the plane, she started speaking Spanish. I was like, where the hell you get this from? I'm like, what? like she's speaking Spanish, accent, everything. I'm like, where did you pull this from? Mm-hmm. Like, you pulled this from somewhere, because we needed Wi-Fi cards in Cuba. You've been to Cuba, right?
No, I want to.
Did Kennedy go to Cuba?
Mm-mm.
I feel like one of y'all went to Cuba, but what if I say we got to Cuba? You need like Wi-Fi cards or whatever, and we on the corner like just trying to figure out where we gonna eat. Like, we couldn't figure anything out, like, because we don't have no service. Mm-hmm. Kayla started speaking Spanish to somebody, get us Wi-Fi cards, find a place for us to eat. I'm just like, hallelujah for you, because I would have been sitting here looking dumbfounded.
Because it's like your phone does not work,
yes, like
right?
your phone does not work. That was the one trip I've been on where I completely was just cut off from everybody. Like, I didn't even record videos while I was there because my phone just wasn't working. And it was like, it felt really good though to be somewhere and not be on your phone and stuff like that. So that was a good experience. So how do you feel like as a black woman traveling?
So it depends on where I'm going. Mm-hmm. So like with Japan, let's say I go to Japan with some braids. Mm-hmm. They're not used to seeing black people for one, or braids. Mm-hmm. So like they'll be like, "Can I touch your hair?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can touch my hair. Like, I don't mind." Right. So I know some people would mind, but I'm like, they've never seen it, so right. Why not? I'll definitely get more stares, but that's normal. Right. I get stared at here in America. Right. So it's like
no, that's used to.
But that. I have the mindset like they're not used to seeing people like me. So why get angry? Or just like talk to people. That's what they like.
Do you want to like travel to like every country, or is it like just specific countries?
No. Like? I mean, I do follow, like on my travel page, I do follow a lot of African American women who have been to almost every country. Right. I'm like, I don't need to do that. Like, there are certain places I want to go to. I would much rather spend like a good amount of time in a country than to say that I've been to every single country.
Right, that's facts.
I mean, my mind could change, but right now I'm like, I have like some destinations I want to go to. But
do you have a favorite travel blogger or anything?
Yes. Her name is Mary Jane by Arn.
I love her.
She's so cool, and she's so young. I love her. Yeah, she's doing it.
You watch her like on YouTube, right?
No, I just follow her on Instagram.
I watch her YouTube videos. I think I'm like obsessed with like watching her YouTube videos. Like, I would just fall asleep watching travel videos because she's been like everywhere.
Yeah, she's been.
And she's a solo traveler, and like I always think about solo traveling, but that's like how we just talked about. Like, I barely like living alone, so it's like solo traveling. I feel like that would be so nerve-wracking.
No, I've definitely had to solo travel. I went to Peru by myself. Yeah, I was the only one from A&T that's ever been to Peru. Wow. Most people don't go to South America, which I wish they would. Like, when people study abroad, they'll go to Europe, of course, or Japan or China. Right. You don't hear many people saying they're going to South America. So yeah, I went by myself, and there was one trip that I really wanted to go to, and my friends didn't want to go to. It's called Huaraz, and it's a super blue lake in Peru. So I went by myself. So I took a bus 3 hours away. Wow. Then I did a day tour, and it was literally all day by myself. Came back, went and got home.
Wow. That's crazy, doing that all by yourself in a whole nother country.
And nobody speaks English either.
Oh my God. See, you're brave. That's good. That's inspiring.
It's like, I really wanted to see that before I left. So.
That's good that you said that, like, that you really wanted to see it, because I feel like some people hold themselves back from traveling because of their friends, or they'll be like, I'm not going to go because my friends don't want to go here. So that's good that you were like, I'm just going to go anyway.
You cannot wait on people, because they'll be like, really, money stops a lot of people from traveling. So let me tell you guys a trip. What I did. So I pay out-of-state tuition. So when I wanted to study abroad, I found a trip that was maybe like $4,000 or $5,000 cheaper than out-of-state tuition. Wow. So of course I got that money back. Right. So that's what I used to travel. Wow. I didn't use all of it either. That's too much. Right. But just be frugal with your money. And when you go out, like, as soon as you get to the country, things are already a little cheaper than here. So it's easier to, save money.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like, because people always say to me, like, traveling is expensive and all that, and I'm like, it's really not, because like I feel like we spend the same amount of money going to the club, doing all that stuff. Like, if you actually allot the money ahead of time, I think it's more so expensive to people because it's like you would normally have to pay a big lump sum at once.
Yeah, you have to. I think getting there is always the thing, but it's like when you're there, stuff is cheaper.
It's so cheap. Like, it's so cheap. What was one country you went to where you were like really surprised, like you didn't think it was going to be like what it was, if you've had that experience?
I don't know.
Mine was Cuba.
No, I haven't had that. I don't think I've had that.
Cuba was, I didn't like, my best friend wanted to go to Cuba, and I did not want to go to Cuba at all. I was just like, I've never wanted to go there, like, but it was her birthday, so I was like, okay, we'll go to Cuba. That was probably my favorite country I've ever been to, like, and I did, like, as soon as we got the plane, like, everything was just old. Like, the cars were old. Everything was, like, stuck in the 50s, and it was so funny because we met a girl in the airport. Our flight ended up getting delayed for a really long time. We met a girl who was going to visit her family, and she was half black, half Cuban, so she spoke very fluent Spanish, and then she spoke English. So she was hanging out with us and everything. So when we got to the airport, we didn't even know, like, how we were going to call a taxi or anything to our Airbnb, and she let us ride with her and her uncle. The car broke down on the way there. The car broke down on the way. He whole changed the tire in the middle of the road. Like, it was just fun. Like, it was such a long day of traveling, but Cuba ended up being like one of those hidden gems I feel like everyone should go to and really
need to get
unplug.
there.
Like, it's really nice to go there.
I gotta figure out how to get there. And Kennedy don't want to go at all.
Really?
So that might have to be one of my solo trips.
I would go back to Cuba. We love Cuba.
I really want to go.
You definitely should go to Cuba. We didn't get to visit any beaches. I heard the beaches are really nice there. We didn't get to see any, but we were just hanging out with the locals. That was the one place where we just hung out with, like, people that were from there. It was like, that's why I said we were sitting there using Google Translate besides Kayla. But we were just sitting there using Google Translate, but it was so fun. So what's some, like, advice that you have for people traveling, like, getting there in their first trip?
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. Or I'll do, like, overall and then on the first trip. So get to know the locals, like you just said. Like, that, you can't go to a country and just want to stay to yourself. Because, like, yeah, you can look on Instagram or Google to see the things to do, but it's nothing like if the locals tell you, like, they know all the spots. They know all the hidden gems. So definitely talk to the locals, and that's how you get to know the culture more, too. So for first time, I would say travel to the Bahamas. Well, not Bahamas, the Caribbean first.
Right.
That's something like a little easier to handle. Most people are going to speak English. So just get your feet wet with the Caribbean a little bit. And what other advice? Budget.
Yes.
I have an app on my phone. I'm not sure what it's called, but you can just look it up. And it does like a currency exchange. So you are constantly keeping track of how much you're spending.
Right.
So I'm always pulling that app out because it might sound like it's cheap. My problem with Europe is I think the prices are the exact same. When Europe, it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I went to... Where did I just go? I just went to Spain. Forgot. I just went to Spain. I spent so much money because I'm thinking the prices are the same.
Not realizing it.
And it's like, I've been traveling, so for me to play myself like that.
like, yo, who was in my bank account?
Why
That's
did I
funny.
do that? But
Yeah.
definitely keep track of your finances and get like a currency app.
Yeah, that was me and Cabo. I thought Cabo was going to be, like, cheap, like other, like, Spanish-speaking countries. I thought it was really going to be cheap, and Cabo was so expensive. Like, I spent so much money.
Really?
They said it's, like, one of the most expensive, expensive piers in the world, like, and I was like, I would not be returning.
But I went to Cancun. It didn't seem...
I'm about to say, that's why I thought it was going to be cheap, but Cabo was, like, one of those retirement places and stuff. Like, the people there, was a lot of people that had money there, so... And then it's crazy, because after we left, everybody went to Cabo. Kim Kardashian, Megan was...
Well, they can do that.
Yeah, right, they can do that. So I was like, look, they lucky. We out here struggling, and, yeah, they was having it all good out there.
Wait, is Cabo touristy, though?
I want to say yes and no. Like, I feel like it's one of those places not tourists go to visit and, like, travel and leave. Like, there were people there that said they've been there for, like, months and stuff like that. So it was, like, people, like, really retiring there. Like, I saw a lot of people out there just, like, Americans working out and, like, really just out there. So it wasn't, like, one of those places I've been to, like, I can't even use Puerto Rico. Jamaica maybe. Like, Jamaica was one of those real tourists. Like, people are just there for, like, 5 days. This was, like, people were living there type thing. So I was like, that was really cool. I definitely think I want to live in a foreign country someday. Do you feel like you want to live?
I would. I definitely, but I probably would go to Europe.
Not too, because it's not too different.
Yeah, it's not too different. But I would.
What's your top 5 countries that you want to visit?
Okay. Thailand, Cuba, Switzerland, Bali, and Egypt.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Yes. Egypt,
there we go.
Really nice. I definitely want to go there.
That was hard.
No, I swear, trying to figure out all the, because I had the biggest list in my notes of countries. But like I said, I'd be sitting there watching Mary Jane's videos and Lost the Blank. Have you heard of Lost the Blank on YouTube? You should watch his videos. He makes the coolest videos on YouTube, like traveling wise. And he really shows like a different side of the country, I feel like, but he like a lot of hidden gem countries. So my notes is just filled with like places people are like, I've never heard of that place. I'm like, man, me either, but I just been sitting up there watching it on looking it up on Google and stuff like that. So but I really appreciate you having you on the show today, and you guys should make sure you follow her. Travel with Kyra. She posts a lot of good photos and stuff like that of countries and a lot of good advice for those places that you want to visit. So make sure you guys follow Travel with Kyra. I will leave her social media links in the bio, and I hope you guys watch another episode of Tea Time with Key. See you guys.